Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Molchop here, bringing you game number 1 of the semifinals between GoRush and Goodfriend here on Ride of the Valkyries. Game number 1 of this amazing semifinal. Really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm also really looking back to this. Let me explain real quick. So, this is game number 1. I downloaded all the games for this series so that I could record them in case I didn't have internet. And I did find an occasion to record them when I didn't have internet. You guys will find out what that means in the next game. But when I went to record them, I discovered I hadn't downloaded game 1. So I didn't know if like game 1 didn't exist and that's why I didn't download it, or if I just made a mistake or what. So I wanted to take the chance to still record. Oh, my logo is kind of weird in that spot. Let's move it over here. Wanted to take the chance to record the other games while I had the chance. And so now I'm going back and I'm actually recording this game, game number 1, after I've already recorded games 2 and onward. This is a best of 5. There could be 3 games, there could be 5 games. And so apologies for that. This is going to be a little bit weird because now in the other games you're going to hear me saying stuff like, I don't know where the game is. Is it there? I don't know if I'm going to go back and do it ahead of time. So be prepared for me to, in the future, which is actually the past, but in future games, for me to be confused about the situation. So anyway, but you'll get to hear that anyway. But I did, I'm able to upload the games, but I did have a chance to record this game before uploading the other games, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and so that way I can upload them all in order instead of like uploading game 1 after the others. So, with that being said, I do know the result of this game, but I'm going to try my best not to spoil it or anything else while we do it. We're just gonna watch things how it goes. I know the end result, but I don't know how it happens, so I'll be excited to see how it goes. And I still might say like, you know, I feel like so-and-so's ahead. I don't think that's going to be a spoiler because games can go back and forth. And so I'm just going to call it like I see it, basically. In any case, GoRush, of course, is the teal Zerg player on the bottom right, and Goodfriend is the red Terran player on the bottom left of the map. And this is interesting. Goodfriend he's going over and he's mining out the minerals by the expansion of GoRush, which is gonna mean that there's potentially a back route to go into the base. I don't think that's gonna be a big deal though. I've seen Zergs on this map before, maybe even GoRush, I don't remember, set up their base in such a way that, you know, you can put Sunkens at the natural and they still block both directions pretty well. I think it was actually a July Zerg game that we saw where he did that. But in any case, also be prepared for the VODs to have hiccups like that. I don't think it's on my end. I think that was the original recording that had the hiccups. I think that's why it's doing that. But in any case, these are old VODs of games that were played long ago, and I believe these VODs are actually something that someone like recorded, like screen captured or recorded off of the internet a long time ago. Anyway. So, GoRush going with 2 barracks play, and getting an academy. Did I see a command center as well? I think GoRush is getting... I'm sorry, GoRush. Goodfriend is the one getting barracks. I think I saw Goodfriend getting an extra command center as well, which is interesting because usually in the past we've seen him do mostly, you know, just 2 barracks play and pushing out with... Marines and you know, a handful of medics and firebots and what have you. So if he's expanding off of this, it's very interesting. And you know, I wonder if GoRush will be able to catch on to it. Maybe because Zergs almost always are going to run in there with a few Zerglings, and you know, they'll lose a ling or two, but they'll get a count of their opponent's army. And he might see a couple less Marines there or something like that. He might be able to tell what's going on. But it seems like he's still playing as if he's under threat. He's got the Sunken colony. He's got 2 extra colonies ready to morph into Sunkens if need be. Now, we just had the lair and the Hydralisk Den finish, and so it looks like we're going to see fast lurkers which is, you know, much, it would be in, you know, 2010 or 2020 might be considered a cheese or something unusual. Okay, so now he definitely knows what's going on because the Zergling sees the commands that are floating out there and is going to be able to know exactly what's happening here. SCVs sent out a little bit early. Oh, the medic blocked the command center from landing. So all the SCVs are going to be delayed a little bit. And, you know, it's not a huge deal, but if you think about it, like, the time that those SCVs were not mining, there was a lot of them there. You know, that's 50 minerals, 100 minerals, something like that, maybe. So, significant little thing. But small things add up in the game of Brood War at the highest level. So, it's worth noting that. Goodfriend is moving out now, and so we're going to have GoRush go ahead and morph those colonies into sunks. And I don't think this is going to be an attempt at like a big break or anything like that by Goodfriend. I think he knows that his opponent has to build some sunks, and he's just saying, okay, well, you know, let's play this little game where I build units and I go and attack and you build something. Oh, I see, he gets a Hydralisk. That could be very bad, though. He needs to morph it into a Lurker. He's got it in an interesting spot. I think that is a fine spot for him to morph that Lurker. He's kind of using it to block that back entrance, which Goodfriend was kind of threatening the back entrance. But again, you saw the Sunken Colonies were in a great spot that even if he did try and go in the back entrance, the Sunkens are going to be able to do actually maybe even better against the line of Marines running through there. Interestingly, we do have a Lurker egg on the ramp there. Perhaps someone remembers Nada running by the sunken defenses every single time he could in the previous Star League. Not, of course, not in the, well, not even in the quarterfinals of this Star League. But, you know, maybe morphing that Lurker egg could have just been that's where the Hydralisk was, but I think it's also likely that it was you know, a good spot for it to protect against some kind of run by. The Hydralisk Den and the Spire also put in a nice spot to protect against that as well. You know, he could be thinking of vultures running by as well, so not necessarily a Marine run by. But we got, we saw it a moment ago, and I was in the middle of a sentence, so I didn't say anything about it yet, but I'm saying it now. I think we saw 2 macro hatches going down in GoRush's base. So he's actually going for these mass lurkers and stuff off of 2 bases only and into the Spire that we also saw. So probably going to be saving up some larvae and getting out Mutalisks later on. And I know I will mention this in a future game because it's actually the past. But you know, it seems to be just interesting that it's much more common in this era to go lurkers into Spire, whereas in the modern era, it's more common to go Spire into lurkers. And either way, you know, you can want to try and go for a kill. Usually, it's not easy to go for an early kill on a Terran player who's not playing too risky or anything like that, and so you end up trying to parlay those techs into higher tech and more bases. You want to get 3 or at least 3, ideally 4 or more bases and get the hive tech. So that's kind of what we're looking for in the long game from GoRush. Got an interesting little spot where you can actually camp a few Marines and attack that extractor. That is kind of a big deal. The Mutalisks, I think, are going to stop anything from killing that extractor. But look at him kind of running around a little bit willy-nilly. Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and be able to pick off those Marines. And if they run after the Mutalisks, they're going to get caught by this. Oh, he goes in for an attack with the Lurkers from the back as well. A 2-pronged sandwich. There's 2 prongs on forks, not sandwiches, but that doesn't matter. He came in from both sides with the Lurkers from one and the Mutalisks from the other. A beautifully executed play there and took out a large chunk of Goodfriend's army. Now GoRush with the advantage, pushing in to try and do some damage to the expansion as well. But he's going to take some free damage on that Mutalisk from a nice little chunk of turrets there. Interesting spot for them, but there are several turrets and 2 bunkers at the natural. Very cool to see the bunkers. You know, you got to build the bunkers anyway as defenses against lurkers at this stage because he went for the lurkers first. So it kind of makes sense to build it in a way that you can defend against the Mutalisks as well. So, you know, then you can save on turret costs, essentially. Nice little turret next to his barracks as well to make sure he can't get barracks camped as well. Tank's out now in the meantime. Oh, if he can pick off a tank, that would be great. but he's not able to get that. The Marines are on top of it, blocking any attempts to pick off free tanks. I feel he's not moving out yet, and it's probably because he lost that chunk of units earlier. But I feel like once he gets a handful more Marines and maybe a second round of tanks, maybe he was going to wait for a vessel, actually. Very soon, we're going to see Goodfriend push out with an attack force and go for a push. And again, it may not be a killing blow, but it's going to put a lot of pressure on. And he's probably going to try and prevent, prevent GoRush from getting a third base if he possibly can, or fourth. I'm not sure how many bases he's at the moment. So there's the scan. He sees the lurkers. The tank's missing some shots uphill, and he actually is going to unburrow those lurkers and fall them back again. The lurkers are virtually dead, but it's actually going to force another scan at this point, which is really a powerful move. Yeah, oh, those tanks are actually out on their own. That was a dangerous moment. It's still a dangerous moment. Okay, looks like the Marines have now rejoined with the tanks. So the Mutalisks were kind of messing around the main base there, so it wasn't really a huge risk, but you definitely, you know, if he lost a couple tanks there, that would have been... Oh, the stop lurkers! He knows there's no vessels. He uses the stop lurkers. He's killing Marines. He's doing a lot of damage to the tanks. Now, those lurkers were the damaged lurkers from before. And so as soon as he gets the scan off, they all die very quickly. So not as much damage done as could have been, but definitely more damage done than also could have been. Oh, man, a huge attack coming in here. GoRush coming in with tons of forces. A huge mix of different units as well, so he can combat the mixed units of the Terran player. And Hydralisks actually are going to be doing the bulk of the damage now from behind. The Mutalisks soaking up damage as well. He's going to take out every single Marine. A couple Marines coming from the back are not going to be enough to rejoin with those couple medics. And now GoRush has a huge lead, and he's pushing into the natural expansion here. Are those couple of turrets and a couple of tanks going to be enough to actually defend this? The medic just dies out in the open there, and it looks like GoRush is in... I'm sorry, Goodfriend is in deep trouble, and I'm not sure how he's going to defend this, honestly. He's got a couple more tanks popping out. Maybe if he can space out the tanks, but he's just running off scanners here. He doesn't have a vessel. I think he probably does have a few scans saved up. Well, actually, I guess scans aren't as big of a deal, kind of think of it, because he's actually lost a lot of the lurkers. There's only a few lurkers, I think, left in that army. Now, crucially, though, because he's got this advantage, GoRush can kind of contain Goodfriend and expand. If GoRush can get a third and fourth base right now, while Goodfriend is kind of trapped and not able to push out right now, then that could be everything GoRush needs to seal the game in the long run. Goodfriend, it looks like he actually might be posturing to take that left side base, the sort of 830-ish base, as his next move. He can't quite push out maybe, but instead he's gonna use the power of the Terran army to siege up and defend, to kind of hold that choke point type area in between the second and third base, and try and take that third base and still win a longer game. Maybe go to dropships to try and do some distractions and try and kill some side bases for GoRush, who has taken a fourth base, by the way. He took that third a while back. The fourth base is now up, or morphing, I should say. And yeah, look at this beautiful little spread here. He's got Marines spread out all over the place. The tanks are in a nice line spread out as well. So he's not vulnerable to a crushing blow right now from GoRush. Even if GoRush did come in with a ton of stuff, he's spread out in such a way that he would be able to fall back his Marines to different places. The tanks are tiered to cover each other. And we're going to see soon if the tanks are tiered. What am I trying to say? If Goodfriend has tiered tanks, or is going to be shedding tears. Ha! Because tier is... that was badly executed, but tier is a homophone that means two different things, and it's funny because of that. Anyway, I'm really surprised we don't have vessels right now. He's had some time to get that tech up and running. The Hive tech is now complete, by the way. Or, sorry, the Hive is complete. We're going to see what tech he goes for. Greater Spire morphing! A little bit interesting choice. He only has like a couple Mutalisks left over from earlier. Sometimes, you know, if the Zerg has like 8 Mutalisks left around, then a Greater Spire can be more effective because, you know, you don't have to spend that extra money on Mutas in order to morph Guardians, and you're kind of reusing, you know, you're being very economical, very ecological reusing those washed up units from before and transforming them into new units. Okay, we do have the Defiler Mound morphing as well. Ooh, look at those lurkers. Ooh, beautiful spot. Up on the ridge where the Marines might go around, and they did go around, and they did die. There's GoRush looking focused. He now has the 4th base up. I think he has a 5th base. Yeah, that's his 5th base in the top right. Which he's trying to put defenses up as well. And those lurkers in the top left delayed that little push. I don't think Goodfriend was trying to go for like a large army push around the top of the map. He was just sending a little squadron there to try and do a distraction. Well, not distraction. Well, yes, distraction, but primarily to try and put pressure on those expansion bases whilst GoRush is massing in the middle. And he is massing in the middle. Wow. That is a lot of Zerg units running around there. A lot of Hydralisks, interestingly enough. A little bit strange to see that, but, you know, GoRush can kind of do what he wants at this point. He's got the economy, I think, to pull it off. This vessel is out now. Okay, there's a lot of Hydras there. He's trying to mass up for a push here. He's waiting for the vessel goes down. Only one vessel. Now it's 0. And that is going to slow down this push by Goodfriend. He's going to have to scan. He's going to have to spend more time unsieging and sieging with his scans as well. So I think this is looking good for GoRush, but we're going to have to see. This is still a strong push by Goodfriend. And Goodfriend is taking a base at the top left as well while he's doing this. So this is... Goodfriend is still... well, he's actually still in a really solid position, but now there's... The Defilers are in play. The Zark Swarms go down. The Hydra is coming in from the side as well. The Guardians coming in from the bottom at the same time. Everything in the Zerg arsenal just absolutely unleashed at the same time from all different sides. Well, mostly from the right side, but all different sides of the right side. And pushing him back. Now, this squadron did get around the top of the map, but GoRush had already put Sunken Colonies up there, so it's not going to be the counterattack that Goodfriend really needed to do the damage back on him. And now we're seeing, oh man, that was just so beautiful. He put down the Dark Swarms, he ran in some lurkers, and the Hydralisks were coming from behind. And at first I was like, wait, no, the tanks are protected by the Dark Swarm. I don't know if he has enough Zerglings, but then the Guardians dealt with that and pushed the line of fighting back behind so the lurkers could get underneath the Dark Swarm and the Hydralisks as well. Now he's Dark Swarming even further in. He's going to keep putting them down. The lurkers are going in from behind, and all the tanks are going to die. The Guardians are up on top of them. There's a few Marines coming from the side, but they're going around a little ridge, so they're coming in piecemeal. The Guardians are going to wipe up everything that could possibly deal with the Hydralisks and the lurkers, and now the Hydralisks and the lurkers are going to wipe up everything else. There's still a couple tanks left, but it's just not enough. It looks like he might actually lay claim to some Guardians over here, but oh man, this is just disgusting. GoRush coming in from the top as well, and now he's just bypassing. He's not even waiting for the swarms. He's just going in with these units. He sees that there's no extra line of defense. There's no reinforcements being held at the back to go into the worst part of the fray and shore up defenses. And now he's just pushing right past that non-existent defensive line and pushing into the natural expansion here. I'm sorry, the 3rd base of Goodfriend. He's going to be forced to lift some buildings. He's going to be forced to fall back. Goodfriend is going to be able to regroup a little bit at his natural expansion, but not before he loses a bunch of buildings. And guess what? Top left is ripe for the picking as well. And there's an Ultralisk Cavern, and that is the finishing move. You know, he's going up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. That's actually an incorrect Konami code. It's not a finishing move in Mortal Kombat as far as I know, but he's doing some combo of keys right now, and he's in the middle of the combination, and the Ultralisks are, you know, the final button that will execute Goodfriend from this game. Yeah, there they are. Oh man, I kind of hope he doesn't GG before we get to see that. You gotta love Ultras, massive amounts of Ultralisks. If we get to see an attack with Ultras and Lings and Hydras and Guardians and Defilers, it would just be a beautiful ending. Just be an absolutely beautiful ending. He scans that army, and now he knows what he's up against, and he's kind of falling back. He's sieging up. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Finish him! Ultralisk coming in. soaking the damage, doing the damage. The Ling's there. He doesn't even need a Dark Swarm. Everything's going to die. There's no way the Terran can survive. Or am I just saying that because I know that Goodfriend actually wins and I'm trying to throw you off? We're going to see GG in a second here, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. GG. GG, and I called that timing without knowing it. I mean, he could have GG'd any time in the last 5 minutes, and it would have been good GG timing. GoRush takes game number 1. Very, very strong showing for him. Goodfriend as well. A very strong showing, too. Just a couple times, couldn't quite get the as much mileage out of the advantages that he had. And GoRush just playing absolutely spectacularly. And you know what? Playing similar to the fashion that we saw him play in the semifinal series that they played, or not semifinal, the third place series that they played in the previous Star League, where GoRush just looked absolutely dominant. So really cool to see a wonderful, beautiful TVZ between these two players. And you'll see why, but I didn't really have time to go into too much talking about the series itself and the tournament itself in the rest of the games of this series. But look out for a surprise special, I don't know if it's a treat actually, but a special surprise kind of casting situation. You'll see in the next game. Anyway, be prepared for that. But I just want to mention real quick, because I didn't have a chance to, didn't have time to in the other games, just so you guys are thinking about this while we were watching the rest of the games. We do have Jelizerg advancing over Zealous to the finals as well. So the winner of this series will go to the finals. A GoRush versus Jelizerg finals would actually be, I think, amazing. Just a ZVZ finals between those two would be really great. ZVZ, I know people don't like VZVZ, especially as a final sometimes, but I think that would be spectacular. The alternative would be a Jelizerg versus Goodfriend finals, and we'd have more epic TVZ, and that would be amazing as well. So I'm really looking forward to the finals, but just keep that in mind that the winner of this has to go and face Jelizerg in the finals, which is going to be an uphill climb for either of them as well. But it would still be a very big accomplishment. And it would be Goodfriend's first time in a finals, by the way, if he actually got to the finals here. GoRush has been to the finals a couple times before, if I remember correctly, of different Star Leagues. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Sorry there's been a little bit of a delay, but between the previous series and this one getting uploaded, but been on the road. It's been difficult to find time and ability to cast, and it's been difficult to have the internet to upload games as well. But hopefully we'll have some more games coming up soon for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. GG.